What's going on, Z Warriors? MrWaffles here, and today I have my top 16 Orange Krillin deck that I took to the Virginia Regional, and I'm really happy with the result. I mean, I wish I could have gone farther, but I love the deck, so I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview of the deck and what it's really supposed to do. So, for Orange Krillin, again, you have access to one of the most broken cards in the game, which is Degenerate Disc, I like to call it, or Destructo Disc, and you know, with the Mastery, of course, it's just 5 like the black, but what's even better is you have Oradrill that can boost it up to make it 7 unpreventable, which is really huge. So I'll give you guys a look through, and since I got top 16, I got these awesome promos. So if you guys want to buy them, just message me or contact me, because I'm looking to sell them or move them basically. So this is what I got for top, the 3 Withering Fire and the 3 Black and Rage Assault promos. So we'll get onto the deck profile. So I'm using Krillin 1 through 4, as you can see here. I'm using the Angry Krillin, regular Krillin, because I think it's better than the San Diego Comic-Con promo. Being able to level up, I think it's crucial in this deck because 1, you gain stages, and 2, you're not really trying to control, because I'm not playing like all Dragon Balls or trying to really crit every turn. I'm just really trying to do damage. And honestly, Krillin's level 2 is better than Krillin's level 1 for the most part, because you always force a card. So to be able to have access to this compared to people just like stay on the regular Krillin level 1, you know, this has 5 life cards, and either your opponent blocks it, or if they don't, they lose a card. So at least a card's going out either way, which is really good. And it makes way for your other big energy attacks as well. The reason why I'm also playing the Angry Krillin is because if I get Wall Breaker on 1, I'm basically playing 2 personalities anyway. If I just play the promo Krillin and I got Wall Breaker, then, you know, that's it. If I'm playing this one, which allows me to anger up, I can still get access to level 2 because I'm playing this Krillin. But if I get Wall Breaker, or if I'm playing against blue, which takes a longer time to level up, I'm basically playing 2 MPs in 1. So that's why I'm playing this one over the other one, because of that simple advantage. So we'll get onto the deck, and just to be warned, it's very foily. So foil mastery, everything's like pretty much like blinged out in this deck. So for physical attacks, I'm gonna start off with the 1 Devastating Blow. Dev Blow, because I just found that I needed some kind of banishment removal, discard pile removal, so it would help me a lot in certain matches, but at the same time, like if you draw an early game, there's not really much that is in there. I know it's like, I have like a couple of 1-ofs, and the reason for it is just because no matter the time of situation, since you're playing 1 of it, it's probably going to be good in that moment, as opposed to getting 2 and then you draw in an early game and it's not like very fundamental at that time. So just 1 Dev Blow, 1 Wall Breaker. Orange doesn't have much. Well, actually, they have some amount of like anger or lowering cards, but that requires like a certain specific build. They have the drill that like lowers anger when entering combat and stuff like that. So I know that anger was going to be a problem for Orange in general, because that's just the way it is. So I'm just playing 1 Wall Breaker. Again, if I played 2, it was going to probably be like 2 Wall Breakers instead of 2 Wall Breakers and D-Blow. I just wanted to make sure that I have 1 and 1, because not in every matchup this card is really great. It's a blowout against certain matchups, and others is not. So I figured that if it's in, if I have the 1-of, then if I just use it against that matchup that's dead against, at least I know it's dead and gone, because I'm only playing 1 copy. If I play 2, then it's like, oh, I have 2 Wall Breakers, and it's like, okay, it's not that great against certain matchups, you know. So I just want to make sure that my deck was very optimal, especially when opening up first. So that's why I just played the 1 Wall Breaker as opposed to 2. 3 Orange Uppercut. The card's really good, pretty broken. 4 stages, pay 2, search your deck for energy combat. So if you're on the defensive, you know, and you see that they got like an energy attack, you know, you can grab an energy block. A lot of times I would get Destructo Disc because it's searchable. So the fact that you can search out Destructo Disc compared to, you know, black where you just have to draw it, this you can search it out. So you're basically almost playing like 6 copies of D-Disc, which is amazing. So if you're very late in the crunch, you know, your uppercut for search out D-Disc. You know, next turn you just lay him with the beats. It's ridiculous. So 3 uppercut for sure. And it's also good to get like orange stare down. So to be able to have, since this game is best of 1, to have access to cards that can really disrupt your opponent, and the fact that you can search them out is amazing because it's a best of 1 game. So the fact that if I'm playing against Ginyu, I can search out orange stare down to get rid of an ally. If I'm playing against anything else, you know, you can just search out what you kind of need. So definitely 3 orange uppercut. And then for the last physical attacks, I run 3 orange launcher. Again, it's just auto crit. It's good just to swing momentum. Again, orange doesn't have a lot of anger lowering cards, so this is another access to lowering anger, as well as the wall breaker and dev blow. So it has endurance, which is always good. And just to be able to snipe out more allies and take Dragon Balls and just control the field. So I like 3 orange launcher. For physical blocks, amazing card. Orange quick dodge, just too good of a card. Again, helps keep stage. So if you're going against like physical beatdown decks and stuff like that, this card is just clutch because it also prevents one from your opponent's next attacks for the remainder of combat. So I was playing against Orange Godku, I think round 6, and I was expecting it to be like a physical beatdown deck, and he had some energies mixed in there, and this card allows you to take stages with the first physical attack, and then on the next one just get it back and then unleash for another energy attack. And the stage gain is very crucial because again you need it to fuel up your energy attacks, so to be able to gain 5 is pretty big. So definitely 3 orange quick dodge. And then last but not least, 3 orange refocus. So this card gets a drill. It's not that great compared to quick dodge, but it has endurance. It raises my anger, which can help me level out since Krillin raises my anger too if you discard. And it just helps me get drills back from the discard pile back onto the field. So I run 6 physical blocks. Just again, felt it was a good number because I didn't know what to expect if I was going to go against something like beatdown heavy. That's always my biggest fear. So I wanted to make sure I had the optimal defense for it. So 3 orange refocus for sure, just to take care of that problem. And another reason why I also used the Angry Krillin instead of the San Diego Comic-Con promo is because there's a lot of blue and black floating around, and some red to some extent. So figured with orange, it doesn't really have a way to trigger Krillin level 1 outside of possession drill. So if I'm going against a matchup like blue, I can use Krillin and then use an energy attack to force the mastery to trigger my Krillin. Same thing with black, I use Krillin, and then if they want to use their mastery, it'll trigger my Krillin. If not, then I save a card in my hand, so it's a win-win, and it's also good against those other decks. So it was a good counterplay to, I felt, what the meta was at the time in Virginia. For energy combats, for energy attacks, 2 blinding, best card so clutch. Again, it's searchable by uppercut, so even if you have no stages, let's say if you have 2 stages and you uppercut to go down to 0, you can get blinding and just end the combat, whether you have stages or not. So this card's always helpful in the pinch against decks that have crazy combats like red. If Visit in the Past is very popular right now, so to be able to use this and then just clear the hand and just reduce the hand back down to 1 is very crucial. And it's an energy attack, so it would get buffs with the mastery and aura drill, so it can go up to I think 6, because this is 3 plus mastery is 4 and aura drill, so 6. So it still actually puts in a lot of damage, regardless of you whether it hits or not. It's just a good card to have. So 2 blindings for sure. Again, when I was playing the Orange Godku, I had this and a energy block in my hand, and physical block, and he used Godku, and he also had possession drill, so he had 5 cards in hand, and then you're just blinding and just end the combat. So it really helps even things out. So this card's amazing. If you're not playing it, you really should. Next up, 3 overpowering attacks. Again, when I'm building decks, I try to think of like engines, and this is definitely an engine card because 1, it's searchable by uppercut. 2, it does 6 life cards, which is big. And whether my opponent stops it or not, you get your value by getting the ally from your discard pile or life deck. So to be able to do 6 life, a heavy attack, and at the same time get some value out of it is amazing. So 3 of this, just because I want to see it, and it helps me against certain matchups, because you'll see the allies that I play later. 3 of these are very crucial. And then actually I have some more energy attacks. Krillin's Degenerate disc. So, you're not playing Orange Krillin unless you're playing these. This card's just broken. 45 life cards your opponent starts off with. Everyone knows how much I don't like this card. Me and Scott Dashy, shout out to Scott Dashy, you'll see that this card just ends games on its own. What it essentially does, the reason why I think it's very degenerate is because it does 5, and I also tack on the 3 cards that my opponent's drawing. So your opponent draws 3, this does 5, so it really does almost like 8 damage, because your opponent draws 3 cards, so you burn them for 3, and then you just use this and take away 5. So a lot of times I'll just end the game, and whether my opponent has time or not is irrelevant. And if they have like 10 life cards in your deck, they're like you're in kill range, and I don't think that's really healthy for the game, just because certain games I probably could have lost if it wasn't for D-Disc. Auto crit, so it means auto drill, and it works really well with Orange Captivity drill, which I play, so get free anger and gain stages, as well as Dan drill, so free destruction on that, and phasing drill, so cards just are guaranteed. All my effects just go off, so it's just amazing. If they ever nerfed it to just 4 life cards, can't be modified, I probably wouldn't play it. The reason for it is because it can do crits, and then you can buff it up with Aura Drill. It's just disgusting. One time I think D-Disc someone for 8 life cards because I had Aura Drill and Dragon Ball 1 out. So, I mean, it's almost 1/10, 1/10 of your deck gone, from 1 card that you can just DB7 into again. So, I mean, I have to play it, but I just think it's a very unfair card, so hopefully it gets changed in the future. I also play 2 Distracting Beam. Again, another card where I feel if my opponent has an energy block and I'm using Uppercut, I will still get value out of it, because whether I stop it or not, I still stack a card on top, a styled card. So sometimes I would stack a drill if I have possession drill, so that way I can get the +1 on the draw. So this card's amazing. 6 life, because it's 5 plus the mastery, so 6 costing 2 is a good trade-off. And again, you always hold your value for it. So 2 of these, just in case you want to. It helps recycle stare downs and stuff like that. So you're going against Ginyu, stare down 1, Distracting Beam on top, possession drawer again, stare down other cards. So it's just a good overall utility card. I also have, for energy attacks, 3 orange stare down. So if you're not playing this in orange, you're not doing it right. The card's just amazing. 5 life, so it puts it in crit range. So if they have 2 allies out, you can get rid of 1, and then if it dealt crit, you can get rid of another. So it's amazing. Gets rid of setups and drill, so it's just good spot removal. And the fact that you can constantly, not constantly, but you can stack it with Distracting Beam and Dragon Ball 7. So it just has so much utility, this card. So 3 orange stare down for sure. Next up, last energy attacks. 3 orange PowerPoint. Card is crucial. 7 life for 2 stages. Endurance 3. You gotta play it. Card's amazing. It helps me so much. The endurance is huge on here. And it allows me to almost get any drill I want if it hits. So sometimes if I have a drill in my hand and this connects, I'll get possession drill to draw 2 and discard the drill in my hand or something like that. So this card is really good. And also if you get Orange Captivity drill, it's in the same window of the hit. So you would gain your 3 stages and raise your anger 1. So card's amazing. For energy blocks, 3 energy absorption. Again, you need to gain those stages. Raise your anger, which is always good. So again, with Krillin, you want to level up. So if you're ever in a bad spot, you can always still gain anger and trying to level up so you can gain your stages back. So 3 of these for sure. Amazing card. And then 3 orange energy catch. Again, raise your anger, endurance 3. So you just pretty much have to play it. It's just a good overall beefy card for sure. And then for events, one time, obviously staple. We all know what it does. Gotta play it. I play 2 heroic energy sphere. So sphere is just always a clutch card. Again, not all time it's going to be like beneficial, but it's always good just to have it, just because if you're trying to unleash on your opponent, you know, and they have time, you know, you have a way to stop it. So it's just a good all-around card. I think 2 is enough. If I had a third one, I might try out 3, but 2 seems to be working fine for sure. You know, the way I see it, a lot of people don't like spheres. Some do, some don't. Some people say it's not a 3 of or whatever. But I figured most decks play 3 stare down, 3 confrontation. So if you're playing 3, you're already matching your opponent with that plus time. So that's already 4 events for your 3 spheres that you're going to get value of. And not to mention anything else, any other events that they might be playing. So if you're playing blue, shifting maneuver, Namekian, hyper defense, overtime, stuff like that. So would I play 3? You know, if I can find room, I probably would try playing 3. Next up, 3 confrontation. Again, it's a good trade. You know, you trade this card for the best card in their hand. It just allows you to make certain effects for hit, like Orange PowerPoint, more prevalent. So that way you can see, okay, they don't have, I took away their energy block, so now I know the PowerPoint's going to hit and connect, and you can do all your shenanigans. So 3 of these for sure. For setups, 2 VTP, again, to reuse D-Disc. You know, if you're, you know, a lot of players like to use it like when they're getting entered on you, but if I'm trying to go for the kill or I'm trying to make a big push, you know, I just enter VTP, put a card on the bottom of my life tag, so I gain a life, which will help, and then, you know, get D-Disc or something like that and just kind of go in for the kill. So this card's just overall great utility card. It's amazing. And for drills, we have 1 lookout drill. So the card's amazing. Helped me so many times against so many decks, you know, especially Blue Piccolo being a really dominant deck right now against Black. You know, it's just a good card. It helps you rejuvenate 1. And unfortunately, I couldn't find room for shift and maneuver because you can search this out. And with the Orange Style Master, you can only get style drills from your discard pile. So I like this just because you're able to, again, cancel all those like Dragon Ball 7s and all those like random mill stuff. The only way I can really get it out from the discard pile is Refocus if it gets in there, or if I like Dragon Ball 7, but naturally it's just mainly Refocus. So that's why I play 3, just because it can help me get this card out from the discard pile if I if I don't draw it or something like that, or if it's ready in my discard pile. We have Orange Focusing Drill, gonna protect all your drills. I have a second one. I'm not sure if I'll play 2, but I might, after taking some notes, seeing Tim's Orange Goku build. He played 2, and I can see why, because, you know, against blue, they have Betrayal, so if you have 2 of these, and you can protect your lookout drill, which is really clutch if you're going against Blue Piccolo. So I might try and fit a second one in. I just try to really have 1 of each drill just to make sure I don't clog myself with too many drills. I just want to make sure at least 1/10 of my deck was drills, and the other was dedicated to something else. Obviously the physical stop and the energy stop, so gotta play these. The cards are great. Basically it says your opponent has 1 less card in their hand, essentially, if they don't have, especially if they don't have an action on the level, on their MP. So this takes care of it. So instead of you blocking from your hand, you can just use these. So it's like you have basically 6 cards in hand if you have both of these out. You have Aura Drill. Card's amazing. Buffs up your Krillin, so even if you get Wall Breaker on 1, you can just sit there with Krillin's power, energy for, I think, 6? No, 7, because 4, 5, yeah, 7. You know, so this card's a really insane modifier and has endurance. So this card makes the D-Disc deadlier. It just brings down the pain. Once this comes out, you know, it's really hard for your opponent to stop all your energy attacks. So if something connects, it's hitting for a lot. So and it helps, you know, get into crit range. Orange Dandrill, again with D-Disc. You search first. So the way this card works is you search first, and then you do damage. So when you perform the attack, if they know that, okay, it's successful because they can't block it, you search their deck for something with endurance, like, and it helps you get knowledge of the deck, so see how many energy it blocks that they have left, or how much endurance that they have left. So you can take notes and see, like, okay, you only have like 2 energy blocks left, or I'm going to take your last energy block, and I know all my energy attacks from now on are going to hit. So this card is a good card to have. The fact that I can take away the endurance first, and then you lay down the beats with something else is really good. So, and the fact that all Krillin's attacks are energy based, so it'll always have synergy with this. Wood Hide and Drill, I might play more. This card's just amazing. Against a black matchup, you know, D-Disc can't crit, so it's very crucial to have. A lot of times, since it's a heavy based energy meta, it allows you to just take less damage, which helps you obviously in the long run. So Hide and Drill, amazing drill. One Orange and Power Drill. I just like this. One, the endurance is amazing. Two, has more discard pile removal, so that's why I only play one Dev Blow. So this card banishes 3 at the beginning of my turn, so I don't have to worry so much about stocking up on more Dev Blows. This card will help me fulfill that requirement, as well as increasing my power up rating, which is always a plus thing to have. Krillin already has one of the highest, which is 3, so to make it 4, it's just too good. Phasing Drill. So I had this. I was thinking about playing Orange Inspection, but I figured this card in the long run, I still want to play Inspection. There's a lot of cards I still want to test out, like Precise Shot and Inspection, but I figured this card allows me to constantly be a threat to blow up my opponent's board and control the game. A lot of times if I'm just trying to race out, I wouldn't care about their board and just go straight for the damage. If it's like more like a simplified game state, I would just try and just blow up their board and pick it apart. So it helps against like Position Drill, get rid of it. You know, Krillin's power every turn, you know, just try and nitpick and start blowing stuff up. So it's like Erasing Drill, but constantly there. Orange Captivity Drill. Card is so good. Again, you gain stages, which that was one thing that Orange lacked, because when you did energy attack, you know, you're trying to go off, but you don't really have the stages. So to have a card that helps you gain stages every time when your energy combat cards hit, it's just godsend. So with D-Disc, you know, you're automatically gaining 3 stages. So a lot of energy attacks cost 2. So since I don't play Crush and Beam, I actually gain an extra stage because I lose 2 and then I gain 3. So, and I also raise my anger, which is always helpful in this build because I want to gain anger and level up, gain more stages and all that stuff. So one Orange Captivity Drill, amazing drill. One Orange Possession Drill. Again, 2 maybe just because it'll help trigger Krillin more. You know, this card's just another way to filter your hand, just to dig through your deck deeper and get rid of cards that you don't want and fix bad hands, so that way you can make your hand more relevant and prevalent, so you can just try and get rid of your opponent's life deck. So this card's amazing, and I love the art, the promo one. So, you know, Orange Possession Drill, too good. It's a pot of greed, essentially. Sorry about that, guys. The camera shut off by accident. So, continue with the deck. Dragon Ball 1, again, you'll see why, because I play Kami. So, this is another good card just because I play other Dragon Balls, so it's good just to protect my other Dragon Balls, as well as buff up my Krillin and all my attacks. So, this card's, felt like, was a good placement in the deck. So, Dragon Ball 1. Dragon Ball 6, again, since I play Kami, it allows me against beatdown decks to have something to get. So since if I Overpowering Attack for Kami and I'm playing against like a physical beatdown deck, I can take the stage off of Kami, and if Kami ever leaves play, like I can get Ball 6 to help me gain my stages and be able to buffer those attacks. And it's good because in conjunction with Empowerment Drill, I power up 7 every turn, so 3 from this plus Krillin plus 1, so I power up 7. So another staple card in my opinion for this deck, just because it helps me gain stages from all my energy attacks. And last but not least, obviously, last Dragon Ball 7, too good not to play. Again, you stack D-Disc, time, or whatever, and then they mill 3, so that's already 3 cards gone. They draw 3, so that's 6 cards gone, and then you D-Disc for like 7 or something like that. You know, it's good, amazing late game, so, and you don't worry about it getting taken on you, because you can definitely take it back with ease with like a D-Disc or something. So Dragon Ball 7 for sure. And then the allies that I play, 1 Bulma and 1 Kami. So when I had Overpowering Attack, I was trying to think what allies I should really play to really benefit this deck, and I figured that Bulma would always have utility when she comes out. Only thing is that if you draw a first turn, you know, obviously it's whatever, but you can just put her at the bottom of your deck. So to be able to have this card and if you confront, you can see what they have, and then Overpowering Attack for Bulma to take out to get a card from discard pile, attach it to her, and that allows you to just make their hand even more useless. So, you know, it's just amazing where you can take your own time if you're trying to go off. You can take your own time if you feel like they might have it, and just kind of unleash on them. So Bulma's very underrated. She's a really good card right now. Against the mirror, you can take their D-Disc, and so even though you can't use yours, you know, they eventually have to get rid of her. So when they do, you can then use your D-Disc. So she's just always a clutch card in my opinion. So Bulma's really good. And then Kami, again, he always has value, so he replaces itself with a Dragon Ball, so that's why I play 1, 6, and 7, mainly to just get 1 and 6, and it just helps you in the passive game, so that way you're always increasing your life count by 1 every turn. So Kami's a great addition to the deck. So it's just these two allies. I might try some more like Yajirobe and maybe Oolong or something. I mean, Oolong conflicts with the stuff, so probably not Oolong, but probably Yajirobe, and I'm not sure about Trunks or anything, but if I would add another one, it would probably be like Yajirobe, or even Tien, because it is an energy attack, and I do draw a card if it hits, so some other testing to do, but I love the deck. I went 7-1 in Swiss, only lost to a Black Krillin in Swiss, a really good Black Krillin player, and then I beat the other two, and one of them was on the stream match, which I'll provide a link down below so you guys can check that out if you guys haven't already. And with the deck, I just love how it functions. Everything's so synergistic, and the fact that, you know, there's a lot of cards I wanted to test out. I still might go back to it. I felt like I didn't really have a bad matchup against anything. I tried to cover all the bases with 6 energy stops, 6 physical stops, plus time. You know, I have the spheres in there, you know, so it's a lot of good utility. And right now, Orange is really, really good. We've seen with Orange Goku winning the last regional, and it got second when I was at Virginia. So Orange has an amazing setup where pretty much if they have like a good board presence, it's hard for you to really come through and beat it. You have to really get it in the early game, so that's what I try to make my deck tailored towards, the early game, because like later on in the game I can kind of edge it out with D-Disc and stuff like that. And I could just sit on D-Disc, using D-Disc, and then just kind of waiting and passing for a while. So my loss to top 16 was to Blue Piccolo, which surprisingly is like one of my easier matchups, because Orange has ways to deal with Blue and tear it apart. Like you can see, like if you compare Orange Ginyu to Blue Ginyu, Orange Ginyu has like the Aura Drill and the drills and stuff like that, so you have to worry about allies and drills. So I figured that's why I wanted to try Orange Krillin, because Ginyu was such a thing, and Orange has so many ways to deal with allies. So a couple cards I want to try out, like Orange Inspection, Orange Precise Shot, which is good because it costs 1, and you know, has Endurance 2, raises my anger if it hits. So there's a couple cards I still want to tinker around, but so far I like the build, and it's really solid. I mean, I might try Digs, you know, so a lot of testing still to be done. So for all those watching, thanks for watching this deck profile on my Orange Krillin deck, and I'll see you guys in New York Regional at my home local. Shout out to Brothers Grimm, and shout out to Dragon Ball Z Panini United. So until next time, Z Warriors, MrWaffles out.